Hey guys, currently walking in this nice trail here, and I want to discuss with you uh, the reasons why you are unable to accomplish many of the most important tasks in your life. I believe one of those reasons that it can be very hard to start new things is simply the fear of maybe rejection, humiliation, and possibly just being embarrassed of looking bad. I'll be honest, like when I tried to start this YouTube video, I just couldn't get started because I was just like, oh, what if people judge me for making a bad YouTube video, I guess. But I think it's important to realize that no one really cares. Everyone is just very just believing in themselves a lot more to care about you specifically. And this may be like a call to action, but please just get started. Like, I kind of hate myself for trying to always be, I guess, a perfectionist and trying to make every single video look good. And the other thing is that don't try to look good necessarily. Just experiment with the thing you want to do. For example, with me going to the gym, I decided to do barbells, bench press, right? Man, I started out with 10 pounds on each side, and a dude next to me was like 200 pounds of just straight like weights, and I'm like, damn, it's humbling. And at the same time, I felt a bit embarrassed. But after that experience, I realized that you kind of just have to put on the blinders and be like, okay, I'm starting my own journey right now. Everyone's probably in the middle of their journey, maybe even at the end of their journey, right? And they be more advanced than you. And currently, like I was, you're gonna be a beginner. Everyone's a beginner. Everyone starts at one point. It's just important to just start now. So one important lesson that I learned from Noah Kagan, an author of the Million Dollar Weekend, and I think he made AppSumo, I'm pretty sure. And I watched recently, actually just a few minutes ago, his interview with Ali Abdal in his Deep Dive podcast. And he talked about the now, not how mindset, which is also talked about in the book. I'll probably make a future video about the book because that book is really good. So pretty much with the now, not how mindset, he talks about how you don't need to read multiple books and watch multiple videos to be able to start your own businesses or even just start in general. He actually advises you to just start now, not how, and just, I guess, put on the blinders and just see how it works and experiment. Because also in the book, he does talk about experimenting a ton, which does help you figuring out, like, oh, what works best for me. Because I guess one thing that I can't remember if he did mention in the book, but some like methods that work for some people might not work for you specifically. So it's important to always try now, not how. And once you're in the process of starting, or actually, I mean, when you just started, then you figure out, okay, how could I pivot and improve what I currently am doing? Because that's honestly one of the best ways to learn, rather than, I guess, just reading endless books and watching endless videos. Hey guys, so future me editing this video, pretty much I applied this method, the now not how method, to starting my own business. That business being selling protein ice cream. And I just started and just asked a bunch of my friends. Some of them said yes, some of them said no. Now I'm like pivoting, trying to see what can I improve on? And maybe like scale it. I'll see. With the starting now, not how method, I recommend like thinking big, but starting small. Since it's very hard and maybe even scary to get the ball rolling, so I recommend starting off with small wins. So another method or strategy that has worked well for me, and I think it could only work well with people who are just young in general, is that think about how you have little to lose from taking risks. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably a teenager, a young adult, right? So I would assume that this strategy might work best for the people watching this video. Definitely take risks and acknowledge that you have little to lose just because you're simply young. Luckily, you don't have the responsibilities of children, right? Because that could definitely hinder all the risks you take in life and what you decide to pursue, and I guess tasks that you want to pursue in the future. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I'm not sure what this YouTube channel is going to look like, right? Maybe it's just me just walking around, right? And talking about topics I found very interesting, because I have thought about doing like philanthropy, I guess, talk about businesses, self-improvement, definitely, like growth. But I'll definitely, oh, and books. Yeah, I did want to talk about books. So, yeah, I guess I'm starting now, not how, because I have no clue what I'm really gonna do. I'm just sort of starting now, and then I guess pivoting and seeing what I actually want to do. Because another thing, if you want to start a YouTube channel, think about what you want to do now, and then figure out what you like. What was the video you liked the most, right? And just keep doing that. Because then you'll eventually build an audience and you'll have a niche, which is very important to have if you plan on making this, I guess, as a career. For now, I'm just doing it for fun. We'll see if this goes anywhere. But, oh, actually, one thing that Noah Kagan talks about that was very interesting was the law of 100. Pretty much, he mentions that you should start with 100 videos. Wait, yeah, he's not 100 videos, but use the law of 100 to pretty much do things consecutively, do reps, I guess, 100 times. Because one thing that Noah Kagan struggled with, and he talked about this, was that with his podcast, he would give up too early and he would regret it because he could realize, oh, I could have grown my podcast a lot more if I didn't give up, right? So he then talks about in the book, The Law of 100, to help the reader pretty much just drill into their head that if you want to start something new, just do it 100 times consecutively. For example, if I wanted to, what's it called? Do a YouTube channel, I guess, and I do I set myself the law of 100, and it's like, okay, I'll do 100 videos, and if these 100 videos don't go anywhere, then I'll decide to give up. That's perfectly fine. As long as you set that goal and you complete the goal, you can decide if you want to keep going or give up. But if you give up too early, there could have been a potential for you to definitely grow your channel and maybe even reach 1 million subscribers. Obviously, this could be like over exaggerated, but at the same time not really, because the upsides to taking risks are much higher than you think, and the downsides that you perceive and place on these risks is way too over exaggerated. I believe people do very much exaggerate the fear of failing, right? Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you.